About 2 years ago, I started using ChatGPT as a research assistant. I started with ChatGPT, I moved to Claude eventually. Nothing fancy, just dropping in questions, getting summaries, using it to speed up the normal research grind. One of the first real wins I got from AI was Palantir. It did not help me pick the stock, it just helped me research it. But it helped me kind of make it clear that that was the best choice out of a lot of stocks I was looking at. And I'll talk more about AI picking stocks in a bit. You shouldn't let it do that. Anyway, I'd been watching Palantir for a while, and I had ChatGPT pull together the institutional flows, the contract pipeline, the insider activity, all earnings call transcripts also for Palantir and its competitors. A lot of newbies miss this. There's so much info hidden in earnings calls, but it's a grind to read them all. It's a big grind. AI is good at grabbing them and summarizing them for you. Also finding links between all the hundreds of different earnings calls that happen per quarter in different companies in the same sector as the companies you're looking at, adjacent sector. Anyway, look, it surfaced a few things that would normally have taken me hours of research to do myself. And I mean, it did well, like 700% well. Palantir pumped like crazy. I didn't catch the whole 700% move, but I caught a big chunk of it. Now look, I'm not saying that ChatGPT made me take this trade. I made the trade. The trade was me. I would have bought it anyway, but it saved me hours of research and digging up the data. ChatGPT saved me probably 30 hours of research and surfaced some data points that I would have missed on my own. And that's the real edge of using AI in your investing. And that's when I got hooked. I started integrating it into certain processes, and it's genuinely useful for gathering and passing information. I'll give you an example, by the way. A tiny thing I do right now that has genuinely changed my life with AI. Every morning at 6 a.m., I have an AI agent that goes through the Financial Times, the Wall Street Journal, Reuters, Bloomberg. It picks the articles that matter for what I'm working on, and it gives me a reading list. It knows, because I've trained it, what articles I want to read. It gives me bullet point summaries of each article in case I'm busy, but mostly I try to read the articles anyway. But it's just cool to have a curated reading list when I wake up instead of having to go through each and every website to try and find what I want to read. Then I also use AI to read it out loud to me, by the way, which is another cool use case for AI. Like, I'm making my coffee and I'm getting a Reuters article read to me out loud. Anyway, that sort of stuff is genuinely good. It's a good use of AI, a tool that makes your life easier. The hour that I get back each morning from this means I can walk the dog, or I can spend more time with my wife, or lately work on my latest hobby, which is knife and scissor sharpening and restoration. The editor will probably put up a video of that. Anyway, don't laugh, it's incredibly satisfying. Anyway, the bigger point is this. For 24 years, the hardest part of this job has been the research, sifting through rubbish to find the gold. AI does that part faster than anything I've ever used. So if you're not using AI as a research assistant in 2026, you're working with one hand tied behind your back. But this is where it gets dangerous, because here's the thing about AI. I like to say AI is the smartest idiot I've ever met. It's brilliant at gathering and passing data. It's genuinely terrifying at making decisions that require any actual experience, intuition, or expertise, or creativity. And the worst part is it doesn't know the difference, which brings me back to Nike. A few weeks before I made that trade, I was chatting with Claude. And I mentioned in passing that I wanted to look into the sportswear sector, and I liked the look of Nike, because at the time I hadn't looked at Under Armour enough, so I liked the look of Nike. I didn't think about it again. I asked that to Claude. I asked it to do some research for me weeks earlier. That comment got saved in Claude's memory. Now it's stored in its memory file under Nick is bullish on Nike. Nick likes Nike. A few weeks later, I asked Claude to do a deep dive on the sportswear sector for me. And every single piece of research that came back was tilted towards Nike, because a few weeks earlier, I'd mentioned that I was interested in it. All the information I was getting was positive on Nike. The pipeline looked great, the brand strength was holding up, the margins were defensible, and the international growth was real. My gut was screaming Under Armour, more room to run, better set up on the chart. But the research kept saying Nike, so I went with the research. I always go with the data. For me, data is king in investing. And you already know how this ended because I spoiled it at the start. Under Armour went from $4.50 to nearly $8. It almost doubled in a few months. Nike lost me money. It's not even about the loss though. The loss wasn't that big. It's the fact that had I gone into Under Armour, I would have almost doubled my money. So the opportunity cost was massive. The lesson isn't really about Nike versus Under Armour though. The lesson is that I had outsourced part of my judgment to a machine that was lying to me, and the machine was lying to me because I told it to lie to me. I told my research assistant a few weeks earlier, find me a reason to buy Nike. And I didn't say it out loud. I said it 3 weeks earlier in a throwaway comment, but the model remembered it, and it spent the next session being the friendliest and most helpful research assistant in the world. By the way, guys, if you want to stay up to date with what's happening in the markets, subscribe to my free newsletter. I publish a report on everything you need to know about the markets every single morning. Basically, I read 20 to 30 articles, I summarize them so you don't have to. There's a link below. Like I said, it's free.